that are here. ñi nga xam ne ñooy the Music Union of the Gambia, the Writers Associations of the Gambia, the Film Producers Associations of the Gambia. ñu ngi dalal ñëpp ñi nga xam ne teew nañ waaye lu yëngu lu ne lu ko yëngal la ko ëpp doole te ñi nga xam ne ñoo ko waral te kenn mënul leen bi fay te soo déggee ñu ngi célébrer tey mooy ñoom te mooy ñaan mooy artistes yi nga xam ne ni yéen yëpp yéen a fi teew ñu ngi leen di wax dal leen jàmm bés bi seen bés la dëgg la nag waxtu bi nga xam ne moom lañ am pour def mbir yi ci ni nga xam ne nañ ko buggee mënut ko demee ndax ñun ñëpp xam ne dañ tënku ci cëral Covid-19 bi nga xam ne ni moo fi am artistes yi rek ñooy ñi nga xam ne ñoo gën a vulnerable ci performing arts parce que so leen seetloo since last year around this month before that World Theatre Day was not celebrated because then jamono ji lañ toll woon si waxtu bi nga xam ne coronavirus mu ngi bàkku am doole ba taxoon lépp lu nekkoon yëngu dajee ñu ne lañ ko bàyyi moo waraloon dara amul ci waaye ñu sant yàlla tamit ren ba tey ñu ngi gis ne mënuñ def népp di nga xam ne loolu lañ ko baaxoo def moo tax li ma waxoon del siwaat defuñ fi lu fi kenn deful waaye dañ fee def nu ko kenn defeewul kon ñu ngi gërëm kenn ku nekk ci yéen ñi ñëw di media bi nga xam ne ni ñoom ñoo tax ba dëgg-dëgg ñëpp mun ñu gis ndax tax suñ liggéey bi ak ñoom mu ngi mel ni jëkkër ak jabar bi parce que kenn mënut a dem bàyyi moromam parce que suñ liggéey bi tamit su fekkee ni nit ñi gisuñ ko du jëriñ dara ndax ñun li ñooy def nekkul pour poos nekkul pour wallet nekkul pour drawer nekkul tamit ci denc ci book dañ ko war a génnee nit ñi gis ko te ñooñu ñi koy def mooy audiovisuel mooy télévision seeg rajo yeeg bindakat yi newspaper parce que kon ñu ngi gërëm ñooñu ñëpp di gërëm tam dëgg-dëgg wala di dalal ñi nga xam ne ñooy the executive of the Gambia Union of Theatre bugguma leen di téye ñu nekk fi di wax liñ ma waxoon mooy ma dalal leen maa ngi leen di dalal yéen ñëpp dal leen jàmm dal leen jàmm dal leen jàmm. You are welcome. Let's enjoy World Theatre Day. Let the celebration start. Assalamu alaikum.
And then told him the ideology and that the intention that we have in regarding to put up a big theatre academy which end up training prominent theatre practitioners in this country and filmmakers today in the facet of Mbaye Biteye, Cisco, Ibrahima Cisse, you name them. They all went through that theatre academy in 2001, and it was brilliantly and heartedly supported by Chairman Umar Bari. So I would like to give him a big round of applause once more. His coming here and being invited as a speaker is not coincidental. It's a merit. It is a merit in the sense that he had plowed it. He plowed it and walked through it and did not only stop that and went on, with the Writers Association today and still giving his back. And when this invitation went to him, he did not even hesitate. He said, I will take my time. It was so abrupt, the time, but I would like to say my personal thank you, Chairman, for honoring to come to this grace, to grace this auspicious great occasion at a time when you do not have the time. Thank you very much. Once again, I would like to acknowledge, of course, the presence of my colleagues from the National Center for Arts and Culture present here, who have all come to represent the Director General of the National Center for Arts and Culture. And I would like to reaffirm our partnership in this celebration, in the sense that the reason why the Director General had to delegate this number of people, and then myself as the Director for the Creative and Performing Arts, to be present in this auspicious great occasion is by the fact that we are a part, and we are part of this, and this celebration is actually a national event. We have been doing it for the past almost 10 years. We've been celebrating it continuously with the Theatre Union. First the Theatre Association and now the Theatre Union. So we are a part and parcel of this great day, and we are always proud and happy to be in this occasion and making sure that theater is celebrated because it is our way of life. So my colleagues from the National Center for Arts and Culture, I would like to say thank you for coming, and it's well appreciated that the Director General has actually asked us to be here and fully representing the National Center for Arts and Culture, meaning government is represented. Again, I would like to appreciate and thank some of the associations that are here, the stakeholders, whether music union, film, theater, and all the other associations present here or their representatives, to come and grace this occasion. It is a wonderful thing to do fraternity, because this is your fraternal CSO, which is great that when World Music Day comes in, it's the same people who will certainly come and celebrate World Music Day with you. And when the Copyright Day comes in, or World Writers Day, or Book Day, Book and Copyright Day comes in too, it's the same fraternity we expect to see in between, so that we gemalate, we go for each other in the sense that, because we need to celebrate the earth together. And all of us cannot stand alone. We must have to each other's back. So it's very relevant that the associations are here, and it's well appreciated. And of course, I would like to commend the practitioners here, the artistic genre that are also present from the other artistic associations, but most particularly also the various artistic or theater practitioners in the groupings of the Dance Association, the Comedians Association, the Film Guild is the Actors Guild, and of course the Drama Association. This is a great day for you. It is your day. So I would like to congratulate you for having this step and taking it boldly, that you want to do your day and you want to celebrate your day, and it is of great importance to you to come up with a theme about your financial empowerment. How would this look for you in terms of the profession that you have chosen to take? As I remember when I'm a drama practitioner myself. I have almost 40 years experience. Next year, I'll be celebrating 40 years in drama. I have 40 years experience in it. I have been doing drama since at the primary school with Reverend Ben Stafford in 1981, 82 rather. When I was in Albion Primary School, I started drama at that age, at that young age. So obviously, drama is a part and parcel of my life. If I say I am a dramatist, everyone knows that yes, Sheikh Omar is a dramatist, because this is why I am still sitting at the NCAC as the director for the creative and performing arts. And of course, my life revolves around with that. From primary school all the way down to high schools, and I have built, actually, I'm telling you, I have built with drama schools. Bakote Primary School is a typical example of that. The classrooms that are built there from government, it's by virtue of a state from the Ministry of Education at then, and it was won by a drama club. And that was my drama club. And I have gone through that to make sure that we have won throughout. So drama is a part and parcel of our life. Until in 1987, when we were fortunate to shoot the first film made in the Gambia called Lamin, I was the actor. And that was the first film made in the Gambia, and it's all by virtue of drama. And I would like to emphasize, drama has paved my way until I graduated in for my BA in the William Patterson University in New Jersey. Because when I acted that film, I did not take money, because that was the first film made in the Gambia. I did not take money. I told them that I need sponsorship. I was in primary 6. I was going to Form 1, and that was the year BB was started. The school fund was dropped, and now people were starting paying for school. That was the year when schools were starting to be paid by students. I said, since I am coming from a poor family, And I know if I do not take this opportunity to make my life, then it means that's the end. Maybe I will not even continue to school. I would like, and when I was signing this contract with NRK, which is the Norwegian TV Broadcasting Corporation, who made the first film, I said, I would like you to sponsor my schooling up to my first degree. And that's what happened to me. And that actually made me who I am today. So it is drama that changed my life. I am a typical example. I like to use Concord on that. That has lived my life to benefit from drama. Drama is my way of life, and that is what I have built my homes, and that is what I'm living with my family, and today even working for the government. This is my way of life. Despite I might not be appearing in most of the dramas because now I am getting older and I feel that I do most of technical work for individuals and on scripts and works, but it is not. So there is an opportunity in drama. There is a way of life in drama. So you don't have to think, who are the successful people in drama? You don't have to turn around to look for them. They are available in here. And they are here who can tell you that I have lived all my life. I have got all my wealth. I have built all my homes out of drama or in the means of making drama. So drama, it's a component that can definitely enhance your life and your livelihood. Certainly you can build a career. In most cases, some people, when I was much younger, and I know most of you have felt it in your schools, when they will tell you, hey, say, go together, drama. I remember when I was in LK, of course, I passed through LK. People will always say, hey, mom, if you drama, mom, if you feature, mom, if you... People will discourage you. And you tell your mother that I want to take drama as my career, you will be like, oh my God, I have all the money I have paid in my life to get you the best of school, the best of education. There is nothing that you are thinking other than becoming a dramatist, theater. You see the connotation that we have. I would like to express to people now that the dynamics have changed. If drama was a comedian thing or something that would make people laugh, I am informing you, people are building their mansions with drama, and it was not even today. I built my first compound in 1987 when I was as for 16 years, and I built it from ground. So drama is a component that you can certainly live on. People are making money on it, people are making livelihood on it, and people are making their ways of life around it. So certainly it is possible that you can make your own ends too. It is a profession that whatever aspect of the art that you are taking, you just need to be serious about it and focus and actually stay on it. Stay on it. I said, I have stayed in drama despite all the challenges for 40 years. Next year, 40 years. So I have stayed so long in drama. And today I am employed in the department that is monitoring and administrating drama. So I want to note this to just cite an example for you. Because since the topic is theater as a means of employment, we need to understand that theater can certainly employ people. I am informing you that I am a typical example of it. I am being employed for the past 10 years directly by theater. And for 20 years of my life, independently. And 10 years of my life, of course, voluntarily. So that makes it 40. So obviously, drama pays. And drama actually makes people, make income for people. And certainly you can. There is a lot of ways that you can be. You don't necessarily have to be a drama director. You don't necessarily have to be a choreographer. But anything that is in the theater aspect, it's certainly a way. And at the moment, the good news that I will give on behalf of the NCAC and the National Center for Arts and Culture is, we are of course falling and working so hard to be able to establish an art space. An art space is somewhere where you can establish and showcase your works, because this is one of the things that is lacking in this country. The reason why theater and most of those things work in Senegal and it's by virtue of they have an art space. And of course, we are also working on to make sure that there is a curriculum, a training program that will also be pushed into the tertiary institutions. We've already shared the music curriculum and we are vetting it at the moment. And of course, the event management training program is already kicked off here in this very institution with ICOP. It's already on. And of course, we are revising the other aspects so that we can have the creative industries be trained in tertiary institutions, because there is no tertiary institution in this country that is training anything on the creative industry. Not music, not theater, not film, not any of them. There is none. In fact, it's not even available in the database of NACA, which is the National Assurance Accreditation Office. For all these tertiary, there is none that is available in here. And at this time, our campaign and our stride at the NCAC, with the help of course, our international partners here, Youth Empowerment Project, we are ushering in curriculums so as to be able to get training programs to run. And particularly, of course, we are not forgetting theater. It would be by next year, by this time, we are sure there would be a cohort of people who would be either doing certificate or a diploma in theater, and of course, we will be expecting to have it to continue. And of course, I would like to commend the University of the Gambia as well, because they have been running a long-time program with Chapman, that is theater in education. It has been a program that, but the beneficiaries were only those who are privileged enough to be in the university. And all of us cannot go into the university. So it was very much privileged for those who have taken it over. They were doing it on the side as a module, so as to be able to enhance their capacity. You see how important it is. Even the university realized that you need to have those skills of theater so as to do a better job for your graduation. So it's very essential. So it's necessary in that art department of the university. But we are also saying that there needs to be a hands-on experience for those who are not able to make their way through the university to be able to access some of those programs. So certainly, there would be training programs, inshallah. By next year, we are hopeful, if everything goes well, as things have already started rolling, when these curriculums are ready. Of course, we will be supporting and enhancing other institutions to run in their tertiary institutions. Either it's going to be drama courses, or theater, or film, or music, or any of those. Certainly, the creative industry would be integrated in their curriculums and certainly in their training programs, so that people can have certificates and diplomas in these aspects. On that note, this is what I brought for you as a good news, that there would be, of course, the multicultural center, which, of course, would be a place, as I said earlier, for you to be able to express your works, certainly. And come by the end of the year, we will certainly have some of these things where the use of our creative industries or a hub for our creative industries is available. And certainly on that note, I would like to thank the organizers, especially the team Gamu, the executive, and of course their social secretaries who have been really working so hard in and out of my office to make sure that this occasion takes place. And on that note, I would like to say thank you, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
And you would understand that theater has been something that people have been living on. So if you're here, it's not a mistake that you are here today. You're here because it's a life-changing moment. All right. On this note, I will invite the artist Empire to come and give us a poem quickly. Can we jam our hands? Can we clap as we invite the artist Empire to come and give us a performance? Keep clapping, keep clapping. You guys are very...
Our culture. This is our remember, we do not reap what we do not sow, neither God nor the Spirit will grant us the favor. You are the hope. You are the future. You are the stars in the darkened sky. You are the elders of tomorrow. You are the soul of the Gambia. And you are the hope of Africa. Then why war? In the streets, blood runs like fountains. The cattle are fought down like mountains. How are the people going to sustain such socially unfriendly situations? War is not a solution. Solely alone it brings too much devastation. Too many lives lost by starvation. It must, if not all African nations. Oh peace! Oh peace! When shall you reign? Oh peace! When shall you reign? Attention. The chaos you created, words can never mention. You injected fear in us in the veins it's in motion. Our ambition is to bring peace, love, and tranquility in every black African nation. See them running, you don't even care, young or old. You just kill them. Youngsters, you rape them, and the masses that know when you can feed them. No life dead higher than the one in war system. Then, let's educate the future. I listen to the wind. I hear the voice of my life, the life of my soul, the soul of Africa, the soul of the Gambia. I listen to my silence, painting my imaginations. I had my answer from my feet up to the tip of my head. I call my anger so I couldn't spin my lines. Africa suffered, the Gambia rose from the dust to the castle of green lines. Of dreams, man acting inhuman, radiating trust and hope. We are the people, the same black people whose pride from start sweat like the tide river, rip our muscles like stones and hit the ground like jeans. We are the people, the same black people. History takes long at times it you bad. Let your eye remember, so are you to couldn't die. It is a beginning of a starting of a new life, a start for the Gambia, a start for Africa. For Africa's soul this time, let's discriminate faith, let our nation stand, let the Gambia smile. It is a beginning of a starting of a new life, a start for the Gambia, a start for Africa. This juncture, we've got to a very crucial moment. We've got to the moment where we're going to technically go straight into the business of the day. We're going to look at the team. Why are we here? Right? We've sat down for a very long time. Some of us have been engaged in theater as hobby, but now we want to make some money out of it. Tell somebody, we want to make some money out of it. Tell somebody, we want to make money out of it. My God. Are you guys, you don't want to make money out of theater? Let me see a hand up. You don't want to make money. If you don't want to make money, let me see a hand up. So tell somebody, we want to make some money out of theater.
All right, okay, that's the spirit, that's the spirit. I told you guys, I told you from the beginning, where actors are gathered, there is no laxity, there is no docile moment. Every moment is just great, every moment is exciting. All right, and I want you guys to keep up with that spirit. All right, we are actors, all right? We are not, how do you call it? We are not, which name would I use? I'm afraid.
Official.
Okay, we are not official. We are not. If you don't shout, somebody else is going to shout for you. All right, thank you very much. It's my singular honor to introduce this magnificent person in our midst. Do you understand that? Among men, you have a man. All right? And we say men are in his profile, and I was like, my God. He has gathered experience. The man is fully loaded. All right? His bio, I was like, my God, I wish I can be there someday. All right? But we are all going to go there very soon. All right? Dr. Cherno Omar Barry is presently the executive secretary. He was until recently the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Defense, where he was tasked to manage the day-to-day activity of the ministry as its chief science and technology, health and social welfare, youth and sport, energy, as well as the president's office. This man has been in the acting fraternity. All right, when you're talking about the people that have started theater, people that have really impacted this generation, has impacted this country, and he has been fully involved in all of these things. Let me tell you something. If some of these people were not there from the start, trust me, we would have been lost. By now, we would be starting from point zero. But because they held it, because they started, because they are giving us inspiration. When we look at them, we see inspiration. When we look at them, we see future. All right? So I want us to jam our hands together as we invite Dr. Cherno Omar Barry to the
consideration to speak on this very important occasion as one of your guest speakers, because I believe there is another one who will certainly take the podium later in the day. I, first of all, want to begin by apologizing because I will probably have to rush out immediately, maybe after my statement. I am already on a webinar, live webinar, international one. We are discussing Islamic perspectives on psychology, which is very important too. So most of them are waiting that I join them, but I said I must give my statement before I leave. So I'm really honored to be here. Before I start also, let me give a quotation. I'm sure some of you who have been doing drama will remember this. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His acts being 7 ages. It's a quotation from William Shakespeare in one of his plays. Drama is staged in theaters, and drama is the third branch of literature, following prose and poetry, not in any particular order. So as the Writers Association covers all three, and I'm being honored to be the president, then it's indeed fitting that I speak here and give you a little of my experience in drama. I know Brother Tijan Kamara is going to speak, and he has vast experience in the cultural aspect of drama. So I'm going to give you some aspects, probably a little historical, but I'm emphasizing on the theme that theater is an employable profession. But before I do that, let me share my modest contribution. I think you've heard a little bit from Sheikh Omar, but let me just give you my modest contribution before I start sharing 5 reasons why theater is still alive and is very important. In 1978-79, when I was in primary 5, my primary school teacher gave me the role of Robin Hood to play, and we had others who were playing other roles, such as Alan Edel and the old man, that is the father of Mary, And ironically, most of us are still around. The one who played the old man, we still call him old man. He is actually the principal of the Gambia College, Mr. Abubakar Jallo. We were in the same class in primary 5. And I was playing Robin Hood. That was my first experience in drama, and I can tell you it was very, very fulfilling and very exciting. So in high school, from Form 1 to Form 4, I was, I think, more into my books. But in Form 5, Form 4, Form 5, I was pulled back into the drama society, and there was this major play called The Evils of Corruption. And I was lucky to be given the main role of Sheikh Omar Cisse, the one who was known to be the most corrupt and who was a government officer who will abuse his office and take money employing people who don't have to be, who are not qualified, etc. Something we have been experiencing many times and probably still in government. And I played the main role, Sheikh Omar Cisse. I'm not sure anybody can remember. I'm not sure how many guys are around, but it was so successful that we had to play it in town, in Janjambure, and we also went to Basse, and we also went to Farafenye. I even remember when I was in Basse, we played the role. I was so good in my character that the governor, the commissioner, he was commissioner then, the commissioner then was so happy, he took out balls of $5, new ones, and gave it to me. That was the first time I got a very big bulk of $5. So I was very proud of it. But then at the same time, we also have these French clubs. At the time, the French clubs used to organize what we call these inter-club competitions. Some of you might remember this. And when I was in high school also, my French was good enough for us to organize some drama and poetry. And we used to come and do competition at St. Augustine's at some point, like in the 80s, mid-80s. But later, we used to do it at the stadium. So I have been part of it, but even after that, as a teacher at St. Augustine's secondary school, that is the school that you find on Hagan Street. When I was, yes, Paju School then. When I was teaching there, I was the first to put together the French club, and it was competing, doing drama and doing poetry. So you see, I have always been connected with this. But that is not where it ended. When I started working at the Alliance Française in 1996, I was the sound engineer, the light engineer. And then, yes, Sheikh Omar came and then proposed the Kanyeleng Theater, Kanyeleng Academy, Theater Academy. And we worked together. In fact, we offered him free the space for him to do all the trials, all the rehearsals for free. And then anytime he makes a show, then we will make a discount for him because we were promoting culture. But then at the same time, we had this very wonderful auntie Janet Badiane Young. She came over to Alliance Française and then found me there and said, look, I want to stage a drama here. The first place he staged was The Ultimate Inheritance. This was around 2001, 2002. Around the time, I'm not very sure when. 2002. Yes, 2002. And look at what happened. I was the light and sound engineer. But something extraordinary happened because one day I was sitting down rehearsing with her because I have to follow every stage of the play, what amount of light I should put on stage, how much of sound I should put in, what are the jingles, etc., background sound. And then the main actor, one of the actors did not come. So I said, okay, look, before you waste your time, let me fill him in, just to take the position, so I can read from the script. So I did that, and for some reason, Auntie Janet said, no. I think you are doing it better than even the guy I have. So you must play the role on stage. I said, but I am supposed to do the sound and the light. He said, don't worry, I'll find somebody else to do it. And somebody from the NCAC was brought over and trained to do the light and sound, and I was pushed to go on stage, and I played Bakari, the man with 2 wives. So with Auntie Janet, that was my first test. The Ultimate Inheritance on stage. In fact, it was filmed later and was funded by one of the UN bodies. And the third and the last part I'm sharing is when Nana Ofori Atta came and then was trying to recruit actors at the Alliance Française. And I prepared the area where they should be doing the, what do you call it? Yes, auditioning. So I kept coming constantly to ask him. You know, he was with her husband, Ogundele. And then I will come constantly asking them, yes, how is it? Are you doing it fine? Yes. And then they were frustrated at some point. They said, look, we haven't got enough. And then Nana said, look, can't you come and do an auditioning? I said, me? Well, what am I auditioning for? So we are doing a movie called Banjul Cops. And then I said, okay, well, for this part of it, I can do an auditioning. So I did an auditioning. And next thing I know, they gave me a script. They say, I'm going to act Dr. Omar, the medical doctor in episodes 1 and 2 of Banjul Cops. In fact, if you Google Banjul Cops now in YouTube, you will see one of the episodes in which I acted as Dr. Omar. Very interesting. I was young then, very slim. I'm not as big-bellied like this. It is some time back. What I'm driving at is that acting, theater, drama, movie, these are things that can come our way, but these are things that are not only for entertainment. They are not only for joy. They are more than that. And I'm going to try to give you 5 reasons why theater is more than that. First of all, let's understand that for centuries, theater has always been there, has always been part of our lives, whether at the cultural level, at the social level, but even at the national level. When TV started coming, and when the internet started coming, everybody was afraid that theater is going to die. But unfortunately, those prophecies of doom were proven wrong. Theater continued to thrive. Because you see, when we talk of theater, everybody thinks about Shakespeare and the host of other dramaturgs who stage plays. But theater has a particular appeal that is unique to it, that connects. Look at what there has been staged just now. No movie can give you that connection. It's so emotional. It's so charged with life that you really know that something is going on. That kind of experience is unique. You cannot have it on a movie. A movie is only a 2D vision. But this is a 3D, up to 4D vision. It's a live one in front of you. So theater actually, several reasons why performing arts is essential in our society is one, first of all, it is called performing arts. Why? We will probably discuss that. 2, it is because of its creativity. 3, it is the self-discovery. 4, it's the history and the education of it. And 5 is the expression. Let me start from the expression. They say theater teaches us how to express ourselves effectively. It helps develop our ability to communicate our thoughts and feelings to others, improving our relations. Look at how just that short staging, how emotionally charged it was. And yet, as you listen, you connect with what they are transmitting to you. There's a message. You connect. You find the guy who is singing the song, connecting with the emotions of the guy who is making a monologue of sadness, expressing worries, expressing feelings. So, to quote Claire Ems, he said, a good actor makes clear the meaning of the words. A better actor gives also the emotion of the parts, and the best actor adds emotion of which the character is unconscious. And that is exactly describing what happened earlier. You see, the good actor plays the part. So even if you look at the lady who was giving out the monologue, she was at some point breaking down, crying. And honestly, you are emotionally connected. For somebody who cries easily, you might even want to cry. Or you might probably have left a tear dropping because it looks real. But more than that, if you look at the connection between the two actors, you realize how much there is an emotion in between them. But not that, beyond the two of them, there is that transmission of that emotion to the public. And they don't have to do it consciously. They are doing it because they have put on a skin of a character. And that skin of a character now exhumes that kind of emotion to the public. And unbeknown to them, unconscious in that acting, they are making somebody, they are connecting with somebody. And sometimes this will remain forever in your memory. Sometimes small things on that stage can be etched in your memory forever. But then look at the history of drama. Theater mirrors the past, the present, and the future of our world. It makes history come alive right before our eyes. It gives the audience a chance to connect with history, and it makes learning fun for all ages. Now, many of us, probably those who have studied Shakespeare, will remember that most of his plays are diverse. Some of them have historical backgrounds, like Julius Caesar, for example. For those who might have studied Julius Caesar, people seem to understand Julius Caesar more with Shakespeare than with the other history books, because he brought to life the character of a very illustrious ruler of Rome, one of the biggest. But the way you see the character played on stage gives the history another dimension. It's different from the mere history of Julius Caesar or all the other Caesars that follow suit. And then he made all the other stories of the kings of England, Henry V, Henry IV, Henry III, and other kings. But what makes it interesting is that you, as a spectator, you learn from that history. You remember that history because of the acting. If somebody was to act the 22 July revolution here, somebody would feel more connected to it from the stage than if you were to be given the book written in a prose form. So drama brings to life that history. And it does not only remain in history, but it also brings it in the present and in the past. It can even depict the future. It can even depict the future. Because, you know, beyond drama, there's also lessons to learn. So the third point, the second point, sorry, is, the point number 3, because I'm going backwards, is social development, self-discovery. Theater helps us understand people from cultures other than our own. We can learn a lot about people from all around the world by studying their performance tradition. Just to quote Stella Adler, when he said, the word theater comes from Greece, or from the Greeks. It means the seeing place. It is the place people come to see the truth about life and the social situation. The third point, the second most important point, is creativity. Because it helps us to be most creative. Because you see, in our education system, which increasingly puts an emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, we cannot forget the importance of arts. And here, the co-founder of Microsoft, Paul Allen, said, and I quote, "In my own philanthropy and business endeavors, I have seen the critical role that the arts play in stimulating creativity and in developing vital communities. The arts have a crucial impact on our economy and are an important catalyst for learning, for discovery, and for achievement in our country." So you see, sometimes countries, especially developing countries like today, the policies you see around, they tell you when you have a scholarship to go to university and they want to consider it, they say, no, we are just going to give scholarship for science, for technology, for mathematics, for medicine. They completely forget the arts. But you see, the critical thinkers, the people who perceive policy, the people who bring evolution, are not necessarily the scientists. They are also the artists. And we tend to forget that. Because you see, art brings life to mankind. It brings joy, but it brings purpose for which we live. Science doesn't do it alone. You see, you can be looking at your mobile phone the whole day alone, but you are not social. You don't connect. You are not emotionally charged. Maybe you are reading some things, but that is a 2D, what we call disconnecting phase. But the moment you face to face with somebody, the moment you sit in front of a drama, a very good play, there's nothing more greater than that. Even for a movie, right? Yeah. And then the last part I'm going to emphasize on is what we call community performing arts. For a performance to happen, at any audience level, people need to gather in one place for a couple of hours, like we are doing today, but for a different purpose anyway, and witness an event that may be beautiful, funny, moving, and thought-provoking in any age where most of our communication happens in front of a screen. Bringing people together for a positive experience is sometimes something that matters. Meaning that you can sit here and watch a screen. It's good. But sitting here and watching a play is far better. Because a play alone brings to life something that you will probably be looking on a screen. And that life is more worth watching than just the screen. You can enjoy a movie, I can tell you, but you will better enjoy a play that is very well structured, that is very well done, very well crafted, and very well acted. So before I finish, let me please give you at least a little gist of drama in the Gambia, theater, how it has also helped change people's lives. We have talked of Sheikh Omar, but it's not only Sheikh Omar. In the Gambia, for example, the first drama really started at the beginning of the 1900s. And the first group that we can think of is called Ladies Guild of Grace Drama Group. They started in the 1920s. That was when our grandfathers were alive, not even our fathers. But then we cannot forget that there are many other groups which I'm going to read out. Some of them you will probably remember. For example, we have the Banjul Dramatic Society. We had the Neex. We had the Bah Yai. We had the Judu Bah. We had the Ballet African Society. The Nyodema Kafo. The Group Dimbalante. The National Drama Association. The Yete Drama Group. The Fansung Jamano. The Kute Jombolu. And the many others. And I've not even mentioned the ones that today are existing and are now, entertaining. But then, in the case of writing, put into life, the first play that was really put into a book was by the first lady in this country called Lady Augusta Jawara. She wrote the first book called Rebellion, which was actually the first play written in a book. And Rebellion was played in 1966 in Dakar and won an award when it was taken, that was the first ever African cultural event organized by Leopold Sédar Senghor. And Lady Augusta Jawara sent her actors, people like Gabriel Roberts, people like Marcel Tomasi, people like Charles Thomas Sarr. They went and then they played this play in 1966 in Dakar, and they won the best play acted. It came to the Gambia, the Cup. So we should be proud of it. And then, not only that, then she published her book called Rebellion, which is a very interesting and sad story. By the way, she was the first advocate of women education. Because in her book, Rebellion, she explained how a girl had to rebel against a traditional family and be allowed to go to school and study medicine and come back. So it's a very, very interesting book. But if we are going to be, and then after Lady Augusta, we can also boast about Gabriel J. Roberts. If there is anybody who has written more plays and published them, it's Gabriel J. Roberts. Because she wrote, the first play she wrote, which was published, which was played at the BBC, was in 1971. It was called The Trial of Busumbala. But she also wrote many plays, like one of them was called A Coup is Planned. By the way, when he wrote that play and they staged it, I think it's in the 1970s too, around 1973, at the Reform Club, Then the ambassador of Senegal came and watched the play. In the play, a coup is planned. Uncle Gabi was trying to depict that Senegal was so powerful that their intention is to take over Gambia and make it one of their territories. And this Senegalese ambassador was very angry. And then he complained to the president. But the president was there, President Jawara. And President Jawara got very angry. At the time, Uncle Gabi was the director of education at the Ministry of Education. He was immediately fired. And they also told the Reform Club that they shouldn't allow him there anymore. So he was unmembered, taken out as a member. And for many years, he stayed like that without coming back as a member. But later, when the Reform Club came back to Kombo, because it was in Banjul, he was reinserted as a honorary member, which he is still. By the way, he is still alive. But he also wrote many other plays, like the Mandingerio, can't remember the play again, but he published them in a series of magazines called Ndanan. And luckily, I have all of those books with me now. So, coming back to today, contemporary Gambia, if there is anybody we should be very proud of to have been one of the greatest playwrights of our time today, is Auntie Janet Badiane Young. She has been tagged as the most illustrious and successful Gambian playwright. Since he started writing and directing plays, he has done The Ultimate Inheritance, one I mentioned, The Hand of Fate, The Dance of Kachikali, which is a dance drama, The Trial by Jury, The Battle of Sankandi, just to name a few of them. In 2011, she was asked to write a play which was also staged or played into a movie called The Chains of Inspiration. I even remembered when they were doing is it preview? What do you call it again? Yeah, yes, the preview. It was done at the Alliance Française, The Chains of Inspiration, which was a dance drama about the slave trade across the Atlantic. It was fully funded by UNESCO at the time. But she has also published into a book some of her plays, like The Hand of Fate is the first one she published, but she has published many others too, many other collections. So, but she did not only do that. She built the only and most prestigious theater in the Gambia, which today has been serving to train and support many young budding actors. I have been honored to attend several plays in that theater. I have to say, she had to do all her, what we call, retirement investment in that. If you look at her age today, she decided to sacrifice a lot. Not because she expects any gains, but because she believes that theater is not only for entertainment. She believes that theater is a full-time profession, that theater can bring economic benefits to anybody who engages himself or herself on it. So I urge you, I encourage you, I even implore you not to forget that if you are in theater, you are not only doing it as a pastime, you are not doing it only as a hobby, but you can even stay in it as a full-time profession and strive to make it an economical enterprise, not only to benefit you, but also to benefit this nation. The person who believed that Africa needs drama to enlighten our people, to awaken us from ignorance, just an example was Ousmane Sembène. Ousmane Sembène believed that drama, he was writing books, but he believed that his books were useless because the people reading them were not his target group. And his target group cannot read books. So he decided to make drama. But he knew that drama alone, the people would be too much to carry them around, taking them everywhere. So he transformed his drama into movies. That is why today some of you will read Khala, some of you will watch Din Lobanda, some of you will watch Mulade, some of you will watch Fadou Kine, which are all movies that depicts the serious problems we live in our society. The drama we are talking about is actually what can change the whole concept of our nation. The messages you transmit is what will be etched into the memories of those who have never been into the corridors of a classroom and who will eventually be convinced that the messages you are giving them is what will change their lives. So, drama is not only a hobby. It's not only for entertainment. It's for edutainment, but it's also for economic benefit. So, to conclude, the performing arts is offering wonderful numbers of the benefits such as self-presentation skills, higher academic achievement, self-expression, empathy, compassion, and problem solving. It is really useful to teach our children both collaboration and self-reliance with others to reach the goal. Performing arts is beneficial to promote interpersonal skills. So I urge all of us to really take it up because it is what will improve our academic performance. It is what will improve our future plans. It is what will maximize our confidence. And it is what will empower us. Not us as actors, but also us, the nation. Because through us, the nation is empowered, is emboldened, is giving self-sustenance, and that way we can change our nation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wow. Wow. Let's have you standing and clap for Mr. Cherno Omar. Dr. Cherno, it's a privilege. We thank you. Thank you very much. And I don't know if you were listening. You should not see theater, you should not see performing art just to be a hobby. You know, most of us over the time, we have taken it to be a hobby. We just do it for doing sake. We just do it because we want to entertain people around. But it's a means of employment. And by the time you start thinking like that, you orient yourself and you start developing yourself. In order for you to gain income, you need to develop yourself, train yourself, get to the mark. And as you do that, I believe the sky is not even your limit. We've got heroes that have gone there and they've returned back. Some are still there and they are telling us it's possible for us to go there. We have likes of Dr. Cherno in our midst. We have likes of Sheikh Omar. We have a whole lot of them in this building, all right? We have likes of Frank, all right? They are all here. And we thank you very much. Keep encouraging us. Keep giving us the fire. And as you do that, we will get to the mark that you're calling us to. Thank you very much. I would just like to recognize some few people in our midst. Some few groups in our midst. We have, please, if I mention your name, I want you to stand up so everybody can clap for you. All right? So we have the Parfresh Comedy in our midst. Can we have Parfresh Comedy? They are duly represented here. Please clap for them. Clap for them. Mbe Kanyanta Drama Team, can we have you stand up? Mbe Kanyanta. All right, let's clap for them. Thank you very much for celebrating with us. We love you, we respect you, and we appreciate you. We have the Bolondala. The Bolondala. Can we have the Bolondala Drama Team? Let's be on our feet. Let's stand up so they can recognize you. All right, thank you very much. We have the Gobi Gore in our midst. Can we have you? Gobi. All right, okay. Then we have the Golden Vision. Golden Vision, are you here? All right. Whoa, they gave us an exclusive here. That was great. Thank you very much. And we have Director Frank in our midst, and we have other directors in our midst. Thank you very much. We recognize you, we love you, and we appreciate you. We might not remember your names, we might not call your name, but we want you to know that we love you and we appreciate you. We have the Actors Guild here. We have different people around here, actors that are doing great things in this country. Thank you very much for being with us. We will just continue while they are serving water. Don't worry, item 7 is going to come, all right? Item 7 is going to come. Some of you might be looking, boy, that's a yaga, boy, nakala. And I don't chop. All right, legite, all right. Okay, we have in our midst a legend that has been helping, that has been leading production in the Gambia, that has been spearheading one of the sectors of development in this country. We have Mr. Latir Kah. This man is an extraordinary man. He's a seasonal man. All right? He's an extraordinary person who has impacted and is still impacting our generation with so much. This man is a father of 2 boys. He's married. He's a very handsome man. By the time he comes here, please, I don't want you guys to be snapping him, all right? He's married. He's duly married, and he has 2 powerful sons. He's a trained petroleum engineer, all right? He's a trained petroleum engineer, a management consultant, a founder and executive director of Black Magic, all right? And Black Magic has been around for over...
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you guys doing? Good. Nangen def? Ah, okay. For na nangen hifle. Nyada nila fi Santa Camara? Ku fi Santa Camara? Ku fi Santa Njai? Why ku fi Santa Bari? Ah, mota guy nopi. Anyways, it's a pleasure being here. And thank you very much, Mr. JJ, for the introduction. Very beautiful. I don't know if it's fitting, but very beautiful introduction. Greetings to everyone. My senior and Koto, Dr. Cherno Omar Bari, who's always been a pillar of support for everything that I've done in the arts, Nuyunala. And thank you very much for a very thought-provoking and inspiring message. I won't be too conventional today. We're talking about a theme which is very dear to my heart, because as artists, as artisans, we've all gone through the struggle. When you're in a country where you're dealing with a young industry, because the performing arts, no matter how long it's been around, economically is still a very, very young industry, especially compared to the traditional industries of a country like the Gambia. So when you're dealing with that, a theme like this couldn't be overemphasized, which is theater as a means of employment. I'm not here to tell a story. I usually tell stories, but today I won't be telling a story. I'll be going straight to the theme. How does theater become a means of employment? So I'll be taking you through a 7-point process. I believe I'm speaking mostly to artists, performers, people that do this as whether it's a full-time or a part-time job. So this is who the message is for. If I say anything which is confusing, please raise your hands. I also do a lot of teaching. I have a school, so it's very common for us to exchange ideas. So let's keep the floor as open as possible. So first, why me? When I got the letter from the organizers of this very noble event, the first question I asked myself was, why me? And there are a lot of people who could be here to talk about a theme like this. Of course, we have a few speakers on board today, but why out of 100,000, 200,000 people am I here? And I believe I was chosen for one reason only. And the one reason would be my journey. So I'll start with my journey. The reason why the MC briefly went through my profile brief kind of gives you an indication of why I'm here. I was not educated as an executive director in the performing arts. I was not educated formally as a stage director. I started performing, like most of you, when I was in school, from primary school. I had 2 teacher parents who encouraged the arts, even though I was relatively more gifted in the sciences. I was always a numbers man. But I started writing very early. I think I wrote my first short story. We all have those experiences where you have a family member that would say, suma ñëwee nga bindal ma dara naa la jox dalasi wala naa la jox $2. So I had this uncle who always came the last Saturday in the month. And anytime he came, if I had a story, he would give me $2. Back then, $2 ilurela won. So I started writing them. And he encouraged it. My parents encouraged it. By the time I was in high school, I was into drama, poetry, and all of that. But when it was time to go to uni, my A's were more slanted towards the sciences. I always wanted to be an engineer. And I always wanted to be either a petrochemical, petroleum, or an automotive engineer. So I went with the petroleum engineering. But they say the heart is where the heart is. So regardless of my talent or my knowledge in the sciences, I had to do something that fulfilled that inner passion. So whilst I was going to uni, one of the things I was doing was volunteering at the National Theatre in Taipei. If you Google the National Theatre in Taipei, it's one of the biggest performing arts outfits in the world. The first production I saw there, before I did any volunteering, was a 1,000-person dance theater performance. I sat in my seat for 90 minutes. Kids between the age of 6 and 9 performed with dance and martial arts, fully choreographed, never missed a beat. It was as if, you see those videos you watch where it looks like it's one animal doing everything? It was breathtaking. It blew me away. And luckily for me, my professor's wife was one of the main directors at the theater, and I started working with them. When I came home, it would be a very similar story for a lot of us. When I came home, I had the guarantees of a full-time job. But after a year, going to different places, I went clubbing for a year. Every Friday, Saturday, I would go out. But I didn't feel the enjoyment that I felt going to the theater, watching poetry, watching people sing at the opera. I said, if I can't have it here, I have to find a way to develop it myself. Luckily then we had Balafong, the forum, which was co-founded by myself and a brother, Amran Gay. And we started there. People like Dr. Bari encouraged it. And we had our first poetry session 12 years ago called The Word of Mouth in partnership with Lena Nyan. And from there, everything evolved. When we started Word of Mouth, there was nothing like formal or informal public poetry sessions in the Gambia at that time. And people like Dr. Bari would attend. Lamin Manga was then a top dog at the JRTS, Salutal. It was that sort of gathering where the older, more mature art enthusiasts and the younger ones met. And it evolved since then. I remember the first commercial event that I did under the Black Magic banner. I keep telling this story. It gets tiring if you hear it over and over again. I lost $250,000. When I wanted to do a gala event in spoken word and music, everyone I went to told me it's not possible. Gambia fi funkun arts, can do fay halisam new setan, so and so and so. And they were right. I mean, I did the gala event. I had like, I think 10 tables that were sold. A few people supported. At the end of the night, I spent more money than I had. When the event ended, the hotel was like, suñ halis bi. I had nothing. But luckily, I had knowledge. I went out. I had an offshore gig in my area of training, and I raised money and I paid. I could have stopped then, right? The easiest thing there is to give up. You've lost your money. You cut your losses. You go back to your full-time job. But I believed if someone didn't do it, it would never happen. If I didn't do it, someone else would have had to do it. So I did the second one, and I did the third one. By the third one, I was breaking even. By the fourth one, I was making profits. And it wasn't just about the business side. I learned something on my BM journey. My BM journey taught me that in a virgin industry like the performing arts in the Gambia, you have to invest in your art. I like what the NC said. Whether you're investing in your personal development, whether you're spending money on megabytes to go online and do some training, whether you're reading books like some of the books Dr. Barry mentioned, you have to invest in your art. You cannot expect people outside to invest in an art you do not want to invest in yourself. I would go to sponsors in the first few years, and they would tell me, amuñ dara, téelagum li, as if you're begging for a pittance, right? We've all been there. You know, you work really hard, you develop a story, you develop a script, you're launching something, you go to the biggest companies in the Gambia, and you're not their priority, right? Even to get a meeting is difficult. But when you start investing in your art, they see this is someone who really believes in what he's doing. They will reach out. By the third year, I wasn't begging anyone for sponsorship. I was choosing who my partners would be. I don't have sponsors at Black Magic anymore. I have partners. These are people I've worked with for years. And it shows you it's not a one-day thing, it's not a two-day thing, it's a lifetime of investment. I'm not here to inspire today, but I'm here to share. My second point is one of my favorite projects, which I co-developed with my Norwegian partner, Marit, is called My Farm. If you've been to My Farm, it's a project in Sukuta Nema, and it's a from seed to business project. We teach farmers how to develop their ideas from seed to business, make money, and reinvest. It's a cycle. And art follows a seed to business model. There's nothing that you'll do which doesn't follow a seed to business model. So what do? We plant a seed, but if we plant a seed and we leave it there, it doesn't grow. We nurture it. We fertilize the soil. We water it. It's gradual. You will not see your seed grow into a plant in a day. You will not see it develop into a tree in 2 days. But eventually, with the proper care and the proper attention, it will get there. My third point in my 7-step plan, existing in a non-existent economy, right? If you're up in the performing arts, we used to do this story. There was a time when everyone who's connected to music and the arts used to chill. We had this spot we used to call Fila Bar. And we would go there and we would sit there, myself, Wagan, X-Miles, Valentine, everyone, that generation. And we would sit there and we would talk. We had such huge dreams. Then open mic wasn't what it turned out to be. And I would tell the artists then they were all brothers, Jibu Balagay, Manding Mori. I would tell them, sen ligay bitay, dolen ko leka iliksa. Sen rakayako leka. But someone has to do it. And a lot of people celebrate artists now, artists like Jizzle, artists like Attack. I wouldn't mention ST. ST is one of the few that has survived through a couple of generations, I would say, because we're cutting this generation into two. And it's simply because, and when they celebrate them, I tell them, the boys are doing some amazing music, but it comes from somewhere. There's a historical reference point that Gambians had to start believing in their art. And I would tell them, it's a simple economic model. The kids that used to love listening to G and Manding Mori and Jalex, when they were listening to them, they could not afford to buy tickets to go to the stadium. They had to go to their parents. Their parents did not like the kind of music that they wanted to go listen to. But I told them, male guy, 7 years. These are the people that are going to be going to work at a bank, working at a supermarket. They start being able to afford to listen to music. And that's a transition. If within that period there had been another break, Dr. Barry, in my absence, might have mentioned the 81 break in the arts, right? After the 81 coup, there was a halt on all public performances in the Gambia. That's what happens when there's a little bit of unrest, right? Because then the messages were changed, things had to be better, and the best way to send that message across is the stage. So with that halt, a lot of things changed in this country. The same thing happened early part of our generation in the 90s, right? You had Born Africans, you had Fugitives, you had Maslabi, and then when they also left, we had a pause, and the industry went back to zero. So if we had another pause during the generation of the Jibu Balagays and the Jalexis and the Manding Moris, we would not have been here today. So it's a baton that keeps getting passed on from one generation to another. Investing in your art. This is point number 4. You will be broke. You will want to buy new clothes, you can't. You will want to buy a car, you have to wait. You will want to get a bigger house, you cannot afford to. Some of the men would even want to marry wives, they cannot afford to marry a wife. That is the sacrifice that it takes believing in yourself, believing in your dream, believing in your art. If you do not believe in your art enough to make personal sacrifices, no one outside should believe in your art enough to invest in you. I want us to take this very, 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 very seriously. We have to invest in our art. If you're going to a meeting, I used to tell the boys then, man len yen so len dem uti sponsor. Nga yutal sa tube bi be fi. Sa boxa yi di feñ. Sa kawas bi mu ngi am bona bona bona. Nga dem dugasi mbaxana bi nga pese ko side. You're entering a corporate world. It's not lying to yourself. Every environment has its look. Everyone you're meeting is expecting something. The little sacrifices we make for our art. I knew someone in the art, I won't mention the name. Ko xamne legi mu ngi lekk wécitam bi. Bena kos la amone. One black suit. Su mo dem meeting, daf ko fompa bem set, mu broche ko, def topato dalam bi siras ko bem mo melax. Su ko solé nga fogné bu es la. It's not about being expensive. It's about going with the sacrifices that come with your art. Awakening the human spirit. I loved when Dr. Barry spoke about the power of performing arts. The first time I felt the spirit, right? Like Plato would call it, the spirit of human existence. Before the birth of my son was BM3, Black Magic 3. We did something that we thought was impossible. For the first time anywhere, we had an integrated screen stage production. Dr. Barry was here. I don't know if anyone else in the room was there. It was the first time that Abdoulaye Ba Lai came on stage and performed at BM. And we had a screen at the back, so we did some screen recordings, and we had a live stage production, and we integrated the two. And when the show ended, every seat in the hall was empty. Everyone was standing. And they stood for the longest time I've seen possible. When we left the hall, people were shocked. Like, the first thing they tell you, Gambian munna defli, you know? And it shows the sacrifice of time is essential. I tell my cast all the time, if you have a rehearsal schedule and you don't trust your schedule enough to believe in it, enough to dedicate your time to it, that they fail on stage. No matter how amazing you are, no matter how great you are, no matter how good you are at acting, if you don't respect a rehearsal schedule, it shows on stage. Yeah. It's always one unit. Every production is one unit. Whether it is screen or whether it is stage, it is one unit. And if one person fails, someone has to cover up. That's the beauty of it. We've all been there. Someone goes to a point, they forget their lines, someone has to cover up. Mu change everything. Everything just changes for that whole scene. And you see someone who wasn't stuttering, and that comes from one person not respecting a rehearsal schedule. Because the more you rehearse, the more you find ways to fill the gap. It doesn't mean someone wouldn't come on stage and forget. I have seen someone, I tease him all the time, Boblin, Bright Stars, who also works with BM. Dina am bena line. Every rehearsal, line bobu nun dina ko fate. The moment he gets to that line, he forgets it. And he'll say, next time more. Hi, next time, dumoko fate. And the next time you're at rehearsal, you get to that point again, and he's scratching his head. But it becomes so predictable that the entire team knows to expect it. So the moment we're on a live production and he gets to that line, everybody is waiting for him to miss it. And the moment he misses it, somebody knows what to come next. Respecting your art enough to invest time. It's not always an investment of money. To awaken the human spirit, you have to be one with the spirit. I've been to productions where someone does a performance from the beginning to the end, and everyone is just like this, right? We've all been there. The first time I've said about the first time I felt the spirit. The first time I felt the other side of the spirit, I was invited as a guest speaker years ago, I think 9 years ago, at Brikama Methodist Academy at their graduation, and I was supposed to speak. And I went there, I was well prepared, but I did not know my audience. It's important to know your audience. Who are you speaking to? Hey! I went there with my Wolof coats, Olof Njai Lilawa, to a very, very purely Mandinka crowd. And the more I spoke, the more Khalidi Chibu, ni di def ni. I'm telling you. And so I kept, you know when you're kids and you're telling a story, and you go to the end, nobody laughs, and so you say, bepare, bepare, and you just keep adding, and it keeps getting more boring, and you keep adding, it keeps getting more boring. That happened to me for the first time. I was supposed to speak for 5 minutes, I ended up speaking for 15. Khalidi Chibu rek, needed, guess. I had to hide, no exaggeration, I had to hide when I was leaving that place. And it didn't mean I didn't speak substance. It just meant I wasn't one with my audience. I didn't feel their spirit and they didn't feel mine. So, awakening the human spirit. What you're doing, it's an art, but it's also a business. I learned that in the beginning of my performing arts career. I realized for an industry as virgin as ours, for the mere fact that you have to invest in your art, it is a business. I had to invest myself in what I was doing. Whether it's $10, whether it's $50, you put the money in and you want it to grow so that you can do something bigger the next time. So I tell groups, New Day Parties and Harleys, I've seen it. It's not just in the performing arts. I've seen businesses that failed after 2 years because every profit they make, then they party. If they put $50, they make $25 profit, 25 the Friday, guy say doko, guy lekako. Sacrifice involves doing away with the perfect life today to have the perfect life tomorrow. The Halimba Academy. So everything is a plan. My wife, Aminatu Diallo, is also a celebrated entrepreneur. She owns Gambia's biggest chain then, Chop Shop, fast food chain. And she had 5 outlets. And she's an MBA holder from Heriot-Watt, trained as a business administrator. But she had to find a way to transition into industry itself, which is making food, selling it, and upgrading it. And she always told me, you're transitioning from an engineer to a businessman. To transition, you have to have a plan. Where do you want to be 10 years from now? Where do you want to be 15 years from now? Where do you want to be 20 years from now? So I had a plan. My plan first was start with a small event, you know? Little cost, you're spending $1,000 to get a sound system, it's free of charge, let people build an interest. Do it for 7 months, do your first gala event. If it works, the sky is the limit. If it doesn't work, try again the next year. But your plan has to keep evolving with the dynamics of the time. So I got to a point, I realized people do not take the performing arts as a full-time profession in the Gambia, right? And for very good reasons, right? You have to feed your family, you have to take care of yourself, you have to reinvest in your art. So it's very difficult to do it full-time. So I said, what change can I bring in? Most of the people on the Black Magic stage have come out to be lawyers, magistrates, doctors. That's where they've all gone. But they still perform. So I said, I want to create something that is forever. So I invested in a school. And Halimba Academy is the first of its kind integration of science, art, and traditional learning. It's a tech-based Montessori, it has a science focus, and it does the performing arts as core curriculum in the school. So that is a futuristic, it's a futuristic investment. Because 10 years from now, I want to be able to have actors that believe in the art and make money from the art enough to be on stage full-time. I have a partner, I don't like mentioning names, a business partner, and together we want to develop a system where we're not just thinking music school, we're thinking art school, where people can go to a regular high school, in the evenings they have somewhere to go to learn to play the piano, to learn to do spoken word poetry. And if Dr. Barry would tell you anything, it is the fact that I push when I believe in something. And so, inshallah, by the grace of God, that will be a reality in the very near future. So, being futuristic in your planning is key. Understanding that tomorrow has to be better than today, but today has to be tough. I had a teacher, my favorite English teacher in high school was called Mr. Cummins. And he had a saying. Anytime he's closing class, he would say, may your days be rough, you know? Every day, may your days be rough, you know? And we used to think this man was crazy, because that's how he used to act. He would walk around the class like that, looking under the table. Where are you? Where are you? So we thought something was wrong. Until it was time to graduate, he told us, he said, I want your days to be rough now, so that your tomorrow will be smooth. If your today is not rough, you will never have a smooth tomorrow. When the smooth road comes, and you meet one bump on the road, danga chalit. It happens to many people that had a very easy life growing up. They had it easy all the way, and then adulthood hits, things are easy because maybe the parents are well off, the parents pass away, and then all of a sudden they are lost. They don't know what to do. So yal nañu yàlla may tey buy taneloo suñu ëllëg. Bu méttee tey sax ëllëg yal na yomba. Because it's a struggle. Being better is a struggle. I had conversations with people like Mohamed Jah who explained his story of how he came in and he had a full-time job and he had to quit his full-time job to invest in a small telecenter cafe. Telecenter together with few computers, 3 or 4 computers. And right now he's one of the wealthiest people in the country. But people see you now and they're like, ha, ki amna alel, bilay man suma yalla mayon ma am ki lim am. But it's a journey. It's a journey that takes sacrifice, sweat, and tears. So my final word to you all is, I can't paraphrase exactly what Dr. Barry said. I'll be borrowing from him a lot because Makotola. I can't paraphrase what exactly he said, but he spoke about science and the arts. I am a living witness of a perfect balance between science and the art. And we have traditionalized our learning so much so that it hurts our students. That is the reality. 3 days ago, my wife was at another forum at the American International University, AIU. And the topic was transitioning from academia to industry. And it shows that there's a huge gap. It's not just in the Gambia, all over the world, between academia and industry. Because industry always moves faster than academia. Academia has rules. For something to be a paper, it has to go to a theory process, it has to be proven by a panel, the panel has to believe that it works, they have to try it and test it, the scientific method, before it becomes something usable by academia. Industry doesn't wait for that. They try something today, it works, they launch it. They try something else tomorrow, it works, they launch it. Bridging that gap is tough. And that is why all around the world, educational institutions are trying to revamp the system. It is only in sub-Saharan Africa and the developing world where formal education does not include things like the performing arts, things like martial arts. It's no longer like that everywhere in the world. If you finish your grade 12 or your GCSEs, you have to be able to do an art. Everyone has an art skill. Amut ken ku judo wut ko xamne munu dara ci art. Amut. You can sketch, you can draw, you can do poetry, you can do drama, you can sing, and we all know economically what that does to the world. Africa is missing out from a multi-billion-dollar industry simply because of the way we teach our kids. Fi xale bu jël pencil tane na legi sax nga ne da nga draw sax ñu ne da nga ñaka fayda. If they see someone xale bo xamne dafa fecha di tasu ñu ne ki mom yaayam def nako buguma wax word bi sax, right? Because we do not believe that these things are professions. But gradually, we're developing a generation that believes they are. So my final word to everyone, sorry for taking you through this long process, is no one can believe in your art better than yourself. If you believe in your art, you will invest time, you will invest money, dinañ la si has, dinañ la si saga, di nga dem office jàmbur nga toog xaar ko 2 hours pour benn meeting 5 minutes su paree mu génn fekk la yaa ngi fa toog mu ne la nañ ko def ëllëg. We've all been through that. But that is the sacrifice when you believe in your art. But do not be upset when you do not invest in yourself. When you launch your first show and people come to support, Gambia fi family, sa first show dañ la di support. waaye su ñëwee ñu gis loo xam ne daal neexu leen next time bi boo leen koolee ñu ne dama am dëj wala suma jabar dafa wasin te yéen a bokk de dëj boo xam ne yëguloo ko. So it's important, in as much as you're seeking to invest financially in your art, to invest time in your art. It's easier for our generation. YouTube has everything. I've seen people that went from high school graduate to really brilliant art directors, screen directors, just from YouTube videos. So let's invest in ourselves. And I believe, with the people I'm seeing in this room, and the interest that you've shown in everything we've had to say, that things are changing and things will indeed get better. Thank you very, very, very much, and good luck to all of you.
Timely. It was good for us to get ourselves familiar with some of these things so we can better face the world. All right. I was just paying attention to some of the things he was talking about, and which I think they are super important for us to get ourselves aligned with. When he talks about investment, you know, to invest is the key. Investment is the key to your tomorrow. There is no tomorrow for you if you've not invested. We are used to this proverb: you sow what you reap what you sow. In a nutshell, you invest, you get what you invest today. So investment. In order for us to become great in what we do, in order for us to get to the climax of becoming stars, of becoming good performing art students or stars, we need to invest our time. He was talking about rehearsals. You know, one of the things that we do as actors all over the world is to rehearse. The actor that does not rehearse is the actor that will not perform well. Because there is nothing that you do without premeditating. All right? You cannot want to build a building, a mansion, without first of all sitting down and thinking and calculating how much you're going to need to finish it. Otherwise, you'll go to the length and stop there because you've not planned. So he talks about investment, and I think this is key. We need this. We need to invest our time. We need to invest our resources. Some of us spend like 3 hours on the phone just chatting with somebody. You could have just gone on YouTube or go somewhere, learn something new, something about art. We have a lot of actors in the Gambia, a whole lot. The last audition that I attended, my God, I saw people, I was like, where are they coming from? Are they all Gambian? Are they all acting? It's like a whole population coming down. But I'm telling you something, for you to stand out, you need to invest. All right? Invest in your talent. Invest. Put in something. Put in your time. Put in your effort. All right? Someday it's going to come out perfectly well. And believe in yourself. He talks about believing in yourself. You can't want me to believe you when you don't believe in yourself. Would you want me to believe you if you don't believe in yourself? No, you have to first of all believe in yourself. You have to show me that you believe in what you're doing. All right? There will be a whole lot of speed bumps. There will be a whole lot of troubles and problems on the pathway to success. But let me tell you something. If you believe in yourself, nothing can shake you. Nothing can move you. And that is what is going to get you to the top. But not every crash you give up. All right? So you don't give up. You keep believing in yourself. And the other thing he talks about is investment part. Invest in yourself. Train yourself. All right? We have a whole lot of movies on YouTube. All right? You begin to wonder. And they'll say it's a Gambian movie. Please, invest in yourself. We know you're passionate. Some of us are so passionate. We just want to make it happen. All right? We think nobody's doing anything, so we want to make it happen instant. All right? We start doing things without learning, without asking questions. And at the end of the day, it backfires. So I just want us to have at the back of our mind on the 17th of April, we'll be having the Congress for the actors all over the Gambia. I thought you were going to clap. Show you why. See, you guys are very stingy with your clapping. I don't know why. For some reasons, you are very stingy. Huh? They get said loh feeling dog. Don't let them nango touch. All right, it's important. All right. So we are going to have a Congress, and this Congress we are inviting all actors to come. If you are acting on screen, All right, you are part of this. Come and be part of it. All right, come and know what is going on. Come and empower yourself. Come and get information. They said, if you're not informed, you'll be deformed. Do you know that? If you're not informed, you'll be deformed. So you come and get information. Come and take part. Come and participate. And as you come, trust me, we're going to be soaring very high in all ramifications of our lives and in the theater industry. Thank you very much for your kind attention. We will now invite Power Fresh Comedy to come and give us something, a performer. Let's clap for Power Fresh Comedy. Do we have you around? Do we have you around? Power Fresh.
dama naan namu sa poos. loolu dëgg la. te xam nga maa ngi yow lu ñu ñaar benn la. loolu tam dëgg la. yàlla ñu boole saal. loolu tam dëgg la. suñu xaritoo du tey. loolu tam dëgg la. moo taxoon ku ñëw seet si la. loolu dëgg la waaye frère. waaw da nga ne naanaan bu mag. sama naanaan doo koy wax da ngay ne supp ndaanaan. moo tax mu waxaat la ne la frère da nga ne naanaan bu mag. te kilifa si dëkk bi. moo tax ma ne la frère fu ñu toll nii wax dëgg yàlla ñaari jabar war naa ñaari jabar war naa la frère parce que ndaanaan dëgg day am ñaari jabar ah coow li lenn rek la mooy la ah yow ak ndaanaan bu nga doon xam yow xam nga ne loolu jaaxalul la pour nga takk ñaareel sa aaw ndax ko yomb na ah yow man daal boo paree rek maa ngi amee benn xale bu xees pecc ñool sa kaw waaw boo paree rek waaw ah xamaa naa la de boo gaaw daal ma takkal keneen ba ma takkal suma bopp kon defal lu gaaw kon defal lu gaaw parce que xam naa ne daanaan la boo taxaw teg teg di ko gis bis lamp sola la teg ma ne la noo def fekk nga fa boo courant demee boo ne nii bi ko daj leeraayam moo am doole li joor nee naa la yow ndaanaan bu mag nga ndax sa aawa yomb na ah yow it ah baax na
moom sama liggéey xaw ma fu mu ne ñu ci tànkal ni rek moom day dox rek mun ma xam fu mu ne waar naa ni dama jaaxle xaw ma fu mu ne xaw ma fan la ne nekk si tànkal ni rek di dox rek man de jaaxal na fes dox rek lay def xam nga ban phase dëkkër la nii man de mu maa xam fes muy def
ay way Samba dama la ko wolu yàqu yow tekk bu nga dem te bëra dem te am ni ñuy demee tekk bu nga dem te bëra dem te am ni ñuy demee dama ne ni yoo mooy damay ni yoo dama ne ni yoo mooy damay ni yoo di nga naa mbaa fee nga ma boy ni nga mel leen na
waaye nijaay mi ngi ñëw masha Allah
bet ci yow rek kontaan ci yow da nga doon dégg puso foo teg nga ñëw ne teel muy dem
dëgg la moom
mais yaxi nga la
dëgg la moom
kontaan na ay fal na la am xool
freedom and peace each day. Let justice guide our actions to
Usman Jase is late. Tombong Sen is late. Sonko Gassama is late. Awa Jallow is late. This has been our vision as executive to continue to recognize the effort of those people and to do something special for them. This program will not only stop here by recognizing them. There is a lot of activity we want to engage with their families to do. So, we'll use 1 minute of silence in your special moment. Remember them in prayer. Uncle Modu Musaseka. Jin So, if you can remember your name, you say it, it's good. Who? Our Jallow is here. Caring. Where's the pen? We need those information.
It's like the moment it's mentioned is part of the program. We move.
Yes. Who? Bora. It's mentioned. Gamatulai. Jaro. These are people that we are remembering right now. So, without no names, can we remember them in 1 minute? Please, it's very important. We pray that may their soul rest in perfect peace and let all their efforts that they have worked with to make sure that we succeed come to pass. Amen. Thank you. At this juncture, we would love to call one of our uncle who have contributed significantly in the artistic industry. Young people, the message you will hear from all of this landed erudite in the profession of acting and in doing the work that they love is a message of hope. And it should be a message that we can take to the next generation. So as we call your names, please listen. If you can record, record. Because one bad thing that we have in Gambia, we don't have archives of the people who have done so much job for us. So the first person thank you, sir. If I call your name, you have 5 minutes to speak. But when we call your names, I want everybody to give them a standing ovation and a round of applause as they take the stage, because today, this day, is in a recognition with them. And this moment is set aside purposely to recognize the effort of all the significant people. We know government is doing its best to make it work, but we as association need to embrace each other and promote the ideals and the agenda of the creative and performing arts industry in the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I have the singular honor to welcome Mr. Malafi Mane, the veteran actor. Can you please be on your feet as we welcome Mr. Malafi Mane? Thank you so much, Mr. Malafi. Mr. Malafi will give us a 5-minute speech based on his experience and sharing of knowledge. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody there. I'll be able to that photo. Talal Multata, Alma Alayamani Kaparke, Alma Alayam Fulian, Telefana Turaja, Alma Sosima, Para Vigata Tenda, and a hardly seven in Lava Punyama. At the Baila, the Siro Kanana Kana, Alma Alaya Jampati. Say what about Purukan Royal Akuman Nindan Tegro. Mungkin ada drama lapor, di wala teater lapor. Jadi saya mempunyai jaman siap. Karena saya kami dulu kata ada. Ada mu yalan ko banyin dia mu beke kanja. Ada fonni ke wondon kaka telle. Dele banyin kuma salawatu dinna. Dala so buga so roji. Bareng kami dem paling ada program wala pudire, ada program wala food. Nasaran na molla. Ranga tiada rot. Inga musoro je ngatala mo mo dala sinani. Fodalas. Inna rasul ko ne ko tiada la na mor ko ni balna dale ko ha. Ta alinda de ko ali ko mangoro tala so sama batla. Nga ko tala dina. Ata tin manna. Bari moy ko ko kulo. Ku kendolo amuta. Bultan ni fulon. Yela hajo ke yalo ko nyin ala e momo da ay fenna suma ngi nyanda mukken fo ya lomba fo ma lomba abel abelare wona dami do mi yego kan ko sumbale ala ka bare blok moy do mi de woni yalo mi ma bare blok mon ke nyata suñaaro do fe nabiya da ba ci gala mo ma ko mo de bare dara wa birin ala kay ko tay ngam mi buram ada dajale dajam pada to montam no ko ale suma do ke ne balo ko ne bude ke par ni ma mo daga fana yani ku kiyani hammo mu da ni ko ye hani do mun ne ba ka abere na fala sa wo ku na ta ku beno le do ta kan do na fa sa ne sa mo ni ka ko tiya do la mo to le wala tiya do la mo bedea tiya do la mo kamalu tiya do la mo kede mo yaron ko marbalo do ne ka wallahi ne mun kana tiyata Allah ma fa mun ka fa ko man tiyata Allah walla ka fa kala ha mun man tukuru ka man man ka tukuru ka ke man man ka fa hani tiyata Allah sino mo fa la ma fa la ya sawa ya ki de tiyata ki de tiyata wala kan lay lo ke fam fo ndela mo ñu na sam lo bi la dara ki ne bisha billahi wala mara mo be ke ba lu da fer yo ko dindi wala ye sumuri no adama fet ay mo ko manina mo bi na dum na ben ko be dum na fole ko le dum fole mo do feriyo ko fa ta tat ti ke do fa ma sa fole feri ni dala sa da ko mu ne be keri mu fundi la kay ko ni na ngam tele be tele ni be kan ya ko wata tele ko kan da o feriyo man da sa ndaji na feriyo ko dala do ni yo ko do ni yo halma ya be ko la non de la wala bari mo ma fa moy ko muni nek bari de la judu dam fanna Gambia ko na gam bari mo ma judu na ini Gambia ko ka ben na fu ba bula de banna de sa do so ne ko Senegal ni ko de di ma me kala eventi mo ne ne kala mo me kala ka fa ni to ne ko Senegal ko mo ko mo ne na me kala bi so la ma ko ade to ko ni ka ko ki ay so la ne ko Senegal dina ba inshallah sene he yalla ngene dina ba nañ gor gor lu takka suñu diga rek japp suñu ñoo japp xamne li ñoo def di lay ci japp loy def rek bo la ka fayda rek mo tax ci situation ndaw sa ba ko am na ñoo xamne suñu fi ko xam sax dama to ñu na ko bon la digeen ko bon la ko Mariama si bo ko bon nga gis na ko bu baaxu ma ngi tok seen biir madena sole xam Mariama si bo moy kan do ne wax dafa ko da nga ko am sa do de nga wax ci théâtre no mel non ci la waxe ne dama nga ci théâtre do nga ya ko mu ñor ak ay da ko ne do caméra ba ta bo ni le kan do ya ko ya da ma ba fala ni le ya ni bu wa anke bu wa ki mo wa ya ni le ya do ko bari desa ada kata tu ya lo karam ke dino karam ya baran di bak karam ya baran ada dodo dia media skill bos ada ya tiga ya dia kale ko ila papo ni jari ni kamera manu na la sudu wato sinera ba mane man di man ban bor la wara pide wa mi yang ko ami ngala te ban bor la wara pide karam ya lo ko nde ala la je ma ro kam man ka saputi de bakuma defuma dara may yàlla drama dinaa ko start be indi te duma ko bidda waaye nag su jamono demee ba ceeñ foog nga am bindakat léegi fi dafa bëgg a film sax dafa tarne parce que ko war a bind moom balaa mu pare bind bi dafa jël taay waaye nag gannaaw caméraman yi tam ñu ne soo amul script di nga mën a sudaat loolu foog nga jox la ñu seet na nga mën a di doon loolu moo si problème waaye góorgóorlu rek ala teew si ak doo mën naa yaa mutal mu kan fu ala ba dee maanaam nan maa ne peya sama ala ba dee ma ala ma bi la si la ko def
dramas, not so. How many of you know about radio dramas? Only few of you people. Then everybody will be prepared to listen to Radio Gambia. And they have done a lot of tremendous work that is archived. So please, you need to know much about them, not here, but have a chat with them, have a discussion with them. And this is how we can build a better nation, by understanding who they are, why they were doing it, and what happened along the way, where they failed, where we need to also upgrade ourselves and excel. Next we have Boka Kiskis Drama Group to do a small performance for us. But after we're going to have Mr. Abdullah Samba will be speaking to us, and it's also useful for all of us to be able. But Boka Kiskis, if we are going to change or you are going to prepare, I don't know how many minutes, 5 minutes. Then we'll still have Mr.
Wow. Yes, Misamba.
Theater, the more death. So then for Hamon, look up like that. Women's Bureau, and Hamon program. The woman's right. You never have them to dig. You never buckle. You never do a hesitate. You never know. ñoo déggul olof wala ñoo xamul naka lañ ko làkkee ñu oo ñu dañu dañ bëgg ngeen defal ñu drame yu affaire yi Women's Right seen cër yi nga xam ne dañ ko war a am te ñu xañ leen ñu defal leen su ñëwee oo jigéen ñi insurance ñu wax ñaara ñoom dañ leen di tegal film bi ñu seetaan ko ba pare ñu wax ci loolu waaye ne yéen ndikkee lii ngeen ñu doon wax seen jëkkër yi ñoo ci njëkk a d'accord gis nga théâtre li moo tax théâtre loolu la dégg téléfilm baax na de téléfilm baax na de waaye nañ def stage performance dañ ko war di def te Abuja dañ ko war a bàyyi xel bu baax Abuja Mbour foofu dañ ko war a bàyyi xel bu baax man de ma dem play fa rek aw ma benn nit ku ma seetaan rek kontaan jamais lim def foofu suñ ko xamoon ñun artistes yi ñoo ñooy fay pour foofu nit ñi rek xame ko parce que first class theatre hall indi Gambia ma ne ngóor gaa ñoo naare dinañ leen defalal fii dem nañ ministre bi nañu dinaa leen defal naka grand théâtre
multipurpose theatre.
wax nañu ko man maa ko woon wax nañu ko ana bu jàngaa nga nii moom la foofu artiste foofu play te xam théâtre wallahi suñ la seetoon sax di nga kontaan ñu bàyyi suñu xel ci ne ñun li ñoo li na di Jallow Daba Diagne Umi Samba ñoo ñoo fa nekkoon ñoom ñu dem ceeb El Hadji Baye Konté El Hadji Baye Konté maamam ñu moom bokkoon na ci ñi naan xalamal ceddo yi mu jox leen di story jox leen déguisement yi jox leen mbaxana buur bi suma loxo la mu ba léegi mbaxana jànke wàll bi mun naa la ko ci China suñ ko defee kuréel bi bolon daana ñii naka bolon daana ah ak fan ñoom fi
yàgg na ñu jaar di ma fekk si suuf de man maa yow
Pak Malik, alas mama kita lagi. Mama lupa jahat, lupa tidak mau bayar deh lah. You definitely, but this you will understand.
Yo memiliki sesama.
Wah,
Yo akan mana di sini?
mana lah berragal semua. Mana yo ya ragal semua, mana ragal semua. Dengar, mana malam bukan gini jalan tak. Tekis ni kipuga ko, lalu ay. Dama lang po kang giriala tak. May this. Ano man timbala ka nila payita? Yung po, hindi ka na 5 good years. Musmadi ka niya si Bilko. Wali, naman amal bukus.
Boy sabangan.
Ala. Dama pirman da, expect mo ni siyo. Sumala ka naman pir. Yung senga ni 5 good years, muna lang amal job. Yung mga di ka naman pir, ngayon di naman lipin nila lang. Man mo ko ba nilang oras kontan?
Wali kamu lebih.
Sedangkan tof, yung mun ninyo tof feeling nga na
Kamu
makakabira. Yung dito po makabigis na mabininggo. Yan mabira.
Kompong.
Mami,
salamat. Wala ba?
Sarap.
Hindi ka tayo sila.
Ano yun?
Ano yan? Ano yan?
Tunggu.
Ano yan? Mas jadi mo be gumang.
Tama ba?
Tidak itu sekarang tadi ini mau. Malu. Tidak. Kamu bisa tadi. Mau berkian malu dia. Ini dia kota mana dia ya tak bisa yang mendorong dia. Tidak. Yo hanya saya belum gorong. Kau boleh. Kamu bisa tadi. Amin.
Sama baik.
Bukan gitu ya.
Madi, kita udah nggak sekolah. Aku anak.
Suara lagi, kamu yo
Kataga. Wala hindi kayo naging kontante. Hanapin kayo?
Yo deh, sekarang lagi.
Tapi tak?
Wow, ini mau dapat aku beli.
Ano ang mali? Ayaw, ngunit, tingin mo, ay kontante. Reka, nakasipir.
Tayo, wala.
Oh, yes, mo, boss. Ay, wala.
Yung kayo yung mak...
Kung saan ka, beer?
Di ako mali. Hindi, beer, hindi. Hindi, hindi na magkaya dyan.
Basta, eh?
Hindi, adi yung lima na defal yung hindi. Hindi, sunya yung bahay yung nyari speaker bin hindi. Buko na suwa. Buko na ang tikan hindi. Ngating masitrangan hindi. Hindi, ako lang na natin sa mga pulunan.
Nagmayagapay. Kabugal ka ko mabili. Bugal mo mabili. Nagmayagapay. Dala kinyanyo.
Hindi, ito na talang nga. Hindi, kan mo lang bilang. Hindi, kan mo lang bilang.
Hindi mo lang manawa.
Hindi, wala ka mo lang.
Yo, tingnan din. Sumayon ako. Sige ka mo mabili. Yo, mainin mo din.
24/7 bu leen tiit bu leen ragal bu leen xof ndax amal ne lii di CCTV caméra.
seet si leen ñu si Farafenni gannaaw garage base bi Kawur highway.
very clean every day am na cleaning service ratio bi amul fenn.
Jaafatus guest house teranga àdduna bët kon nag seet si leen ñu.
Semina Star di African place bu ñepp doon xaar képp ko bëgg sa taar wala bëgg sa sa buy bëggal sa xol dawal foofu ci Semina Star amal nañ leen li di organic and body hair oil soap for hands and smooth face whitening soaps waaye tamit amal nañ leen lii di hair spa cream for face and body with no chemicals all natural waaw all natural laa leen wax de xanaa li neex da ba noppi waaye nag emuñ foofu rek ma ne xéewal day mat moo tax nag ñu amal leen lii di African clothes amal leen lii di baby carrière di mbootu ma ne ana yaay neene yu baax yi daw si leen gaaw amal nañ leen tamit lii di turban hats bonnet fancy face mask képp koo xamante ne nag bëgg nga am ñii di Semina Style mun nga leen a contact si seen email adresse bi di seminastyle@gmail.com wala nag foofu di seen website bi di seminastyle.com. bagage yu yaañ yii nag amul ci benn African country jamono juñ toll nii waaye nag am na ci European countries yi ak American countries yi.